Ladies and gentlemen, today's live stream is basically going to cover long-term vacationing and or moving to the Philippines. And in today's discussion, hello, Fred. In today's discussion, thank you for joining my live stream, by the way, Fred. Appreciate that. In today's live stream, not only am I going to give you some information that I have experienced, but I spoke with a man named Danny Gordon, who is a live stream follower, and he gave me some additional information last night, which will also help you save money on tickets and freight cargo that you wish to move to the Philippines. In addition to that, we're going to discuss the best way to purchase a ticket and how you can get some discounts on the purchasing of a ticket or save money by booking the ticket yourself. And I will discuss those methods in and during the course of the live stream. Now, period. I mean, Fred, excuse me. I think I'm talking into my Dragon Naturally Speaking program. Fred said, "Thank you for starting the information live streams." And although I am not a professional, nor do I pretend to be a professional speaker, I have quite a bit of experience because I have been back and forth to the Philippines now twice. But I also do a lot of research before I make these moves, aka to the Philippines in 2014 January. And the second trip I made to bring back tools and equipment specifically to build the hotel that Daisy and I are building on the island of Bohol. So I have quite a bit of information that's going to be helpful. So I'm going to read from a document that I have some bullet points on. And as people come to the live stream, which I see there are now 10 people, which is actually quite a bit. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm going to read the bullets and the notes that I have made. And then if you have questions, I will be happy to answer your questions. So let me open up that document. And then I will scroll down. Ooh, I can't do both at the same time. Okay, let me make sure the camera is facing the proper direction. Right there. Okay. And now I'm going to just stand up for a moment and get that live stream. This is a little bit more difficult than I had planned. I'm not real set up for this. What I actually need to do is set my computer screen up higher. Okay, that's a good amount. Okay, and we'll go back to the Word document. I'm going to just raise this up a little bit. So the way I'm not going to be able to see comments for a few minutes. So I'm going to just go through what I would like to go through. And the first thing I'm going to say is I received 3 new Patreon members this month, which is quite the expansion considering I had 16 subscribers on Patreon. So that consists of 20%, a 20% increase in Patreon. Thank you, Christopher. I'm not going to give you their last names because most people don't wish to have their last names made public. But Christopher, Craig, and Samuel, thank you very much. Okay, so the next bullet point I have on this screen is please note, if you have personal questions that you don't feel comfortable with in a public venue, and you are a member of my Patreon account at the $10 subscriber level or above, I will address any and all questions via a telephone conversation to America, which I can call you on either a cell phone or a landline, or through Skype. But the minimum subscription membership fee for that is $10 per month. However, it includes as much time as necessary to help you prepare yourselves to move to the Philippines, and that would include well over 400 private videos now, some of them with information pertaining to moving to the Philippines, and some of them about moving your equipment to the Philippines. Most of them are politically incorrect videos about the last presidency and political commentaries, which are not allowed on YouTube anymore and deemed not allowed on YouTube anymore. Let's leave it at that. So I would like everybody to understand they are also free to post any conversations or questions that they have in the chat window, and also any useful pieces of information on this topic of moving or long-term vacationing in the Philippines, with the caveat that you are also welcome to communicate with each other on any topics that you wish to communicate with each other, as long as it's kept within legal boundaries. Okay, so now we're going to move on to my first point about what to bring to the Philippines. Now, some people believe that because the Philippines has internet, that's by some magical disposition that you can buy anything you want in the Philippines. And that's true. There are several websites that sell goods to the people in the Philippines. But before I preface that, I'm going to tell you that it is my suggestion that you should bring every item that you hold dear to your heart in regards to kitchen appliances, computer equipment, and tools. And that includes washing machines and dryers as well. But you should note that there are no 110 volt access to electric in the Philippines. So besides bringing your equipment, you would have to go online and purchase a converter. A converter is something that converts electric from 220 volts to 110, or any other voltage if it's a high-end converter that's you need to deal with for your appliances, including European voltages, period. Okay, that's the period is in the document. Now, some people are going to say, well, I looked online and the converter that I suggest is a converter called Diamond, as in the stone, Diamond Converters. You can go to their website and buy a converter from $50 to $600. I personally purchased a 10,000 watt Diamond converter for under $400 with shipping in 2016. And that will handle my 15 amp miter and my 8 amp drills and my industrial grade grinders, which are also starting amperage is 15 amperage. It will handle any toaster oven or electrical appliances. Now, you can't have all of these things on at one time, but typically you're 2 people or 3 people at best, and you can have your American-made or European-made appliances work off of a 10,000 watt converter. And being that my converter is now well over 2 years old and has worked flawlessly, Diamond converter is the one I would suggest. And when you look at the options and the prices, I'm sure that you're going to come to the same conclusion. Okay, now another bullet point is that there is a secondary argument that it costs money to bring your items to the Philippines, and that you can buy these appliances in the Philippines, such as a toaster oven or a blender or drills. What you should understand up front before moving to the Philippines is that every item that you purchase here in the Philippines, even if it's a Black & Decker or a Milwaukee device type of a tool, what you're getting are the rejects that are not allowed into other people's country. Typically, you're getting a batch of rejects that were rejected to bring into America or Europe. So they are basically seconds and thirds, or in fact, tools that didn't work from the factory and were refurbished at the factory. You should also understand that these tools don't work the same way a high-end or grade A tool or device would work, and they don't last as long either. In addition to not lasting as long, kitchen appliances, let's say something made out of stainless steel, is made out of magnetic stainless steel, and within 2 years, I could show you my rice cooker or other kitchen appliances that are rusty. They have rust because they are magnetic stainless. It's not a high-end stainless steel. So even though it might say a name brand on it, it's a lower quality metal because the people in the Philippines have less money to spend. They cut corners at every possible way. So I'm going to move on to a second main topic about shipping your products to the Philippines from the United States. Is another complexity that you're going to have to deal with on a company-to-company basis. Each company that ships items to the Philippines has a different rate and charges you different prices for their boxes, which I'm going to talk about as a side note in regards to purchasing boxes after I'm done with this part of the bullet point. The company that I used is Global Cargo. Global Cargo, Global Cargo. Just Google it. If they have a shipping facility anywhere near you, I would tell you that their prices are as low as 30% of what other shipping companies will charge you. For instance, LBC had a price of $175 per box, and Global Cargo had a price of $55 per box. So if you are not able to bring your boxes to the Global Cargo, they will also come and pick them up for a service fee of about $20 or less per box, depending on the amount of boxes and the distance that they have to travel. So, which brings me to the boxes. Now, you might think a box is a box is a box, but a box is a box is a box is not true. The boxes that Global Cargo provides, and you'll have to drive there and get those. In 2016, these boxes were $5 each for an 18-inch by 22-inch by 32-inch box. You purchase those in bulk at their company at the shipping facility. Now, if you choose to buy a box from Home Depot, what you're going to pay is probably about $8 for the box that I paid $5 for. But, and this is a big but, when you bring the box to Global Cargo or they pick them up, if you did not purchase the boxes from Global Cargo, and this holds true for the other facilities as well, they charge you a minimum of an additional $10 per box because your box does not stack in the cargo container easily with their boxes. So because they lose room and it's a non-symmetrical stack on the boxes, they lose room and it takes time to readjust certain size boxes. Because you don't buy the boxes from them, it's an additional $10 per box. So you would pay $5 for a Global Cargo box and $55 for shipping, or $60 in 2016. However, if you purchase your own box for probably now close to $10, you're going to pay the $10 for the box and the $10 additional shipping fee, plus the $60 shipping fee, or $55 shipping fee at that time. So now you're paying $65. Excuse me. Now you're paying 55 plus 20, or $75 per box. Whereas if you go with Global Cargo, you pay $60 per box, which is $15 less per box. So going on the presumption that you're going to have 30 boxes at an additional $15 if you use a Home Depot box, you're going to save $450 on shipping alone. That's another point. Okay. Now, as regards to the regulations of what you can ship overseas, you're going to have to talk with the shipping company that you choose. Sometimes there's a workaround, and a fellow named Danny Gordon, who is also one of my live stream followers, gave me a great deal of information in regards to this aspect and also how to get discount tickets. So what I'm going to do is right now I'm going to go back to the live stream in about 2 minutes. Just give me 2 more minutes, and then I'll tell you what information Danny Gordon gave me this morning at 3 o'clock this morning, 3 o'clock his time in Texas. He told me that there's a sweet spot to buy tickets, and the best time to buy a ticket is 63 days in advance of your flight. Him and I were discussing that a 9-month advance would probably be advantageous also, and pretty much the same type of savings, in and around 20 to 40% savings for those two methods of purchasing, aka a 9-month advance ticket or that 63-day sweet spot, according to Danny Gordon. He also told me, this is Danny Gordon speaking now, I did not know about this. He also explained to me that if you book each leg of your journey to the Philippines individually, let's say you're coming from New York, and your first flight is typically from Kennedy Airport to Air Canada in Toronto, Canada. That's an Air Canada plane. So you would book your flight from New York to Toronto as one leg, and you'd buy that ticket. The next leg would be from Toronto to Manila. You'd book that leg separately. And Danny is moving to Mindanao, Davao in Mindanao, because he has a house there, and he's been doing this for many years. So you'd basically book for yourself or whoever you are coming with individual tickets for the 3 legs of the flight. And he said that he has discovered that that is the least expensive way to buy tickets. I would take Danny Gordon's word for it because he's been traveling back and forth to the Philippines for 20 years. Now, this is a scam about discount tickets. This is a scam about discount tickets. And this is a scam about discount tickets. The following might pop up on your computer screen, and it will say, get a 10% discount. Sign up for fun and games, or sign up for your 10% discount, which can be canceled at any time. And what you need to do at that point is you go to their website or call them up and you give them your credit card, and they tell you the service fee to receive 10% discount tickets is $11.99 a month, but you can cancel at any time you want. That is a bold-faced lie. You can call them up and request that your subscription be canceled, because what you're going to see is that you received your $11.99 service fee on the first month, and you canceled it on the second month. And you won't receive a service fee for the second month. So you don't check your credit card anymore after that. You think the fee is gone. On the third month, that $11.99 fee pops up again. So you call up these scammers, and it is a scam, and you tell them I canceled, and they'll say, yes, sir, we apologize. There was a mistake with the computer, or some other ridiculous mistake was made. we're going to cancel your subscription right now. Then they will cancel it, and then it will appear on your following month's bill anyway. And they even give you back your money. They'll say, we will refund your money. And they do. And then it appears on your bill again. So this happened to me for several months, and I fought with them each month. And I fought with my credit card company, telling them, I want this charge to not be paid. And they explained to me, they spoke with the scamming company, and I agreed to the subscription that could be canceled on any month, but it's a lifetime subscription. So you have to call them up and actually cancel it each month forever. It takes 20 minutes to get through to an operator, and then it takes another 15 minutes to confirm who you are, and you're going to be on the phone every month for the rest of your life for $11.99, or until you just decide to pay it. But you can't unsubscribe from the one I subscribe to. And the way I got my money back probably wasn't legal, but I did it anyway. If you want to discuss this with me on the Patreon account, I'll tell you what I did, but I got to tell you, I don't know that you could still do something like that in today's world with all of the computers hooked up to bank accounts and credit cards. So remember, do not, under any circumstances, sign up for any discount tickets. They are almost impossible. In my case, it was impossible to get that $11.99 charge off my credit card. Now, another topic that I'm going to discuss after I read some comments, excuse me. Another topic is going to be the Onward ticket. And is it a viable option? Does it work? And how much does it cost? So just let me put this screen down for a moment, and I'm going to go back to the live stream. Okay. My goodness. Okay, I am back to the live stream. Gentlemen, that you donated money to my live stream via super chat. Okay, I can say honestly, I do appreciate that. But if I do not require, I don't make mention of it at all, ever, about the super chat. So, One Lonely Farmer, I know this gentleman. This is a working man. He owns farming equipment. You'll see him out in his field baling not one or two bales of hay, but literally what I would think is going to be 100 bales of hay from the one field that I saw him farming. And he has all of this equipment. Now, I know that there are a lot of working men out there, but farmers are a special breed of working class person. Their job is 24/7, 7 days a week, forever, as long as they own the farm. And the reason for that is because a cow can get sick, can have a virus in its udder. You'll have to get the doctor, or you have to know how to insert the medicine into the udder. How do I know this? Because I worked on a farm for several summers when I was a child. My uncle had a house upstate New York. Another problem with farming is that you have to get the hay off the field and get the crops in when it's dry, typically. One little rain in the middle of the night screws up the whole process. So, One Lonely Farmer, thank you. Daisy and I are going to go out for supper with that money. That's a fact, and we will make a video attesting to that. Daisy went to the beach. I think I heard her come back. She was swimming. I will make a video of the meal we have and put your name in the title. Thank you. Now I'm going to scroll up. If you want to see another working man, One Lonely Farmer is the man's channel to go to. And not only does he have a channel, I think when the last time I checked, he had about 110,000 subscribers. So he's an actual YouTube vlogger with 110,000 subscribers, because people like me like to watch excuse me, Daisy, I need water. People like me like to watch other men work, whether no matter what the field. So One Lonely Farmer is a person I would I would seriously recommend. Okay, so I'm gonna thank you very much again, and that video is gonna happen within the next 48 hours. Thank you. Okay, Fred, thanks for starting. He enjoys the information, and as Fred well knows, the even more detailed information is in my Patreon account. Now, there are people, while I'm talking about my Patreon account, there are people, Gary Bono, yeah, construction man. Now, Gary and I have also been talking on a regular basis, and he's a Patreon member. He's a working man as well. He actually is driving trucks for the company called Walmart. And him and I talk, oh, I think we've talked 3 times now. And he's an interesting fellow to talk to because he has interesting life stories like me. So thank you for stopping by, Gary. Pacific Islander, hi, got things to do. I'll be listening for sure. Okay, Pacific Islander, thank you. Okay, Gary said that the advice in regards to the shipping, which I'm not done with advice to the Philippines. I just wanted to check the comments and let you know that I'm not neglecting them. Okay. Yakov Abdul Muhammad. Now, he's a regular live stream subscriber, always has something nice to say. Thank you for joining the live stream. And he asks, how about those cardboard shipping barrels? I've never seen them, Muhammad. I have never seen that. I could look into it and maybe make a side note in another video, but what we have in America are 18-inch boxes by 22-inch by 32-inch boxes. I have not heard of shipping barrels, but it would make sense if you had some bulky material like bolts or nuts, because a round container would be a lot more stronger than a square box. So, but I have never seen that. I've never seen it or even heard of it until you made me aware of it. So thank you for that. Philippines bound. Hello all. Hello, Philippines bound. One Lonely Farmer, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, sir. And I say sir because I appreciate another working man. And as hard as I've worked my life, I know darn well you've worked harder than me, because I've had time off in between jobs. Your job is a perpetual motion job. That's what I call farming. Daisy and I will go out for supper. Thank you. Now, Anthony Bruno, farmers are so cool. My grandfather was a farmer and such a dedicated and courageous man. Owning a farm, people think, they have 6 months off. They don't have six in between over the winter. In those 6 months, they're repairing equipment, servicing equipment, purchasing parts that are going to go bad. They can see something's worn, sharpening the blades on their tillers and grass cutters. Their baling machines need to be greased and oiled, and they might spend 3 months of those 6 months just doing maintenance. Plus, they have their daily chores around the house to fix the windows and the doors and whatever. Farming is a perpetual motion job. I give them, being that I worked on a farm for a man named Charlie who had about 50 cows. I actually milked cows back in the early 1970s and late 60s. I milked them by hand. You have to grab the udder at the top and squeeze at the top and then work your way down and squeeze and work your way down. You just don't squeeze an udder. You just don't go like this. Something will come out, but not much. You have to grab it at the top, tighten it up, and then squeeze it like a balloon. That's how you get it to squirt at your brother or your cousin next to you. And it goes quite far. You'd be surprised how far the milk would squirt. I also had the opportunity to work with feeding the cows. And at that time, in the 60s, there was a hopper to put the milk in. So the milk was still in the old galvanized containers, and then later on, this new stainless steel containers as the old ones became not usable. And we would put the milk in the hopper, and it was that was always stainless steel. Stainless steel hopper was about 3 feet wide and about 8 feet long. And what would happen is you'd put it into the hopper, and you'd stir it, but then after a few minutes, the cream would settle to the top of the hopper. And that would be the part that we would all take the cups. There was a ladle there, and we would eat the cream right off. Now, this is not pasteurized, not processed in any way. This is just raw milk out of the cow. And we would just take that cream home to the farm that my uncle had, which was a non-working farm, but we rented that farm to Charlie for his cows to graze on, and he also used one of our barns. So it was pretty cool working on a farm. But we got up at 4:30 in the morning, and Charlie showed me how to put the medicine in the cow's udder. It's like a little dart with you dip it in medicine and you stick it in the udder. And he showed me how to shovel the manure in the trough out. And then he showed me how to get from the trough, would go into the back of a truck. And then he would show me how to spread it or put it in a pile, depending on what he wanted to do. That was pretty cool. He also showed me how to wake up a fly in the wintertime when it's like 20 degrees below zero and you're milking cows. And there's a fly that looks like it's stuck in a spider web, and you take a match and you put a match underneath the fly about an inch and a half away, and the fly wakes up and the fly actually flies away because he wasn't dead. He was just frozen, a state of suspended animation. And you might not think that's an interesting tidbit of information, but I have to tell you, that was one of the coolest things I ever did in my life. We used to walk around the farm with matches and make the flies live again. However short-lived that was, it was something to do. That's what's fun on a farm in the wintertime. There's no electric. Not on my uncle's farm. Everything was gas and a Coleman stove. So, all right. So now, guapa. Statue talking about my girlfriend. I am maut, ugly. Daisy is guapa. Did you see her? She she's actually she never stops. I tell her what things that we need to do after we're done with the live stream, and she's probably involved with doing that now. So right now I'm going to go back and finish reading off the bullet points I have in regards to the Onward ticket. Now, what I want you to do is write some questions that you have about anything that's pertaining to moving to the Philippines. Now, one way that is questionable now, but it was not in 2016. One way to save several $100s, depending on your point of origin and your point of destination in the Philippines, was to purchase what is called an Onward ticket. Now that's spelled ONWARD ticket, Onward ticket. What it is a ticket that you purchase for the day of arrival in Manila when you're going through customs. The purchase price for this Onward ticket was, in 2016, $11.99 for one day. If you think your flight is going to be on time and there's not going to be any delays, and you purchase it for that 24-hour window, you purchase it for one day. I personally purchased my ticket, my Onward ticket. You don't purchase it, you rent the ticket. It's not something that you own. You cannot use the ticket. You cannot fly to the destination point on the ticket. it is virtually a way to maneuver around the onward ticket that is required before you come to the Philippines. So my onward ticket was rented for 48 hours, 48 hours, in case my flight was delayed. My flight was delayed 20 hours between New York, the 4.5 hour delay, and then in Toronto, there was 6 inches of ice on the runway, and we were in the Toronto airport for an additional 3, maybe 4 hours. And then we got on the plane and spent 3 more hours in the plane, which was, say, 8 hours. And then another 4 hours in New York City was 12 hours. And then the plane went to where it was supposed to take off, but it didn't take off. And we spent an additional 3.5 or 4 hours when he came off the runway. So we had a 16.5 hour delay. Then when we got to Manila, I don't know what the reason was, but we had to circle the runway in a pattern, it's called, and that was about 2 more hours of circling the runway. I have no idea what the problem was on the ground. The pilot didn't tell us, and at that point, everybody was so upset. It was okay. So it was terrible. So, but I purchased my onward ticket for 48 hours for $17.99. What I did was I ordered it 3 days in advance because there was a limitation how far in advance you could order the ticket. And it didn't come to me when I ordered it. But when I got to Toronto, I went online with my computer and took a screenshot of the ticket. When I got to Manila, the man asked me if I had an onward ticket, and I said to him, Mayang gabi. I said Magandang o Magaden, which means good morning, in his language. And he asked me if I live. He said, where do you live? So I said, I told him I lived in Bohol, and that was it. I showed it to him like this. I put it up to his face. He looked at it for about a millisecond and said, have a nice day, sir. And I went past him. Maybe because I knew the language. Maybe because he knows what an onward ticket is. Because he asked me, do I have a ticket? I said, yes, sir. I have an onward ticket. I didn't tell him it was a rentable ticket. He probably looked at it and knew it was a rentable ticket, but he didn't question me. So other people have said they've had problems, and here is what will happen if you have a problem with the onward ticket. But first, let me tell you how much money that saves. The ticket to the Philippines was $1,050. However, the onward ticket from the Philippines to Vietnam or Thailand would have been an additional $200 plus. So I saved $200 less $17 or $183 on my ticket. But here's the caveat. If it's not accepted by the Philippine authorities at the airport, just say, sir, where should I purchase my ticket? Do not argue with customs agents in Manila. They don't want to hear it. And what you need to do is just smile and say, sir, where would be the best place for me to buy a ticket? He might even give you the best destination from Manila. He might say Vietnam is cheap today or Thailand is cheap today. But if you argue with them, I don't argue with the Philippines. Don't argue with Philippines immigration, and don't argue with the Philippines airport security. Just ask them their best advice and move on. So if you had to pay the additional $200, well, that $200 will now become probably $300. Originally, the onward ticket was $200 in advance, and now today, if your onward ticket is not accepted, it could cost $300 or more. So you take that risk What I suggest you do is go and do your due diligence and find out currently whether Onward tickets are accepted by just putting Onward tickets into the Google search, the YouTube search engine, and just ask. Go, you'll see the people. Look at the date that the video was posted. Let's say a video was posted in 2014. Don't even look at the video. Look for a current video. Put in Onward ticket. Click the search box. Look for an Onward ticket video from 2018. And if you can find one from your area, then that's even more of a benefit to you. So don't take my word for this Onward ticket. I read that it's still good. And I read that some people had problems. I don't know what their problems were. They just said it doesn't work, but with no information. Other 95% of the people said it works just fine. Some people said it doesn't work. But don't take my word for it. Do your own investigation on that. But it is a way to save $200. And my ticket was $1,050, so we're saving roughly 18% of the ticket price. Okay, so I'm going to look for the next bullet point that I have. Okay, if you're coming to the Philippines, you also need to know that you have a free. You have to register for immigration within 59 days and register for your ICR card. Okay, it's a card, a plastic card. It looks like a driver's license. It has your passport information embedded into the coding, has your picture, and you're going to have to get that card, I think, within 59 days. Don't wait to the 59th day. Go 2 weeks before. If your vacation is going to be extended, the card itself costs. Okay, first of all, you have to pay your immigration fee, which is 3,000 pesos for every 2 months. So you're going to have to pay that in advance. So you need 3,000 pesos at the immigration office. Then the card is 2,500 pesos. So you need 5,500 pesos. And you also need an additional 2,000 pesos for other things. I don't remember what the other things were, but I do remember that my first visit to the immigration office in Cebu was 7,325 pesos. And although if you call up immigration from your hotel in Cebu or wherever you are, they will tell you that the cost of your extended visa is 3,000 pesos. They don't tell you about the card. So probably 20% or more people that came to the office just brought 3,000 pesos plus lunch money. Don't do that. Bring 10,000 pesos for each card. This way, at that time, it was 7,325 pesos. It might be more now. It might be less. But one thing for sure, it's going to be over 7,000 pesos. So that's the last piece of information I have as far as coming to the Philippines, either for an extended vacation. Because if you have an extended vacation and you stay more than 60 days, you won't be able to leave the Philippines. You'll buy a ticket thinking that you're going to go home, and they'll ask you for your visa information, and you'll be at the airport, and you say, I didn't get in. Say you stayed 70 days, and you say, oh, it's only 10 days. They'll let me go home. No, they won't. They will tell you that you can't get on your flight. The money is non-refundable. Go back to wherever you wish to go to a hotel, sign into the hotel, and then go get your immigration paid for. Now, I think I could add one more bullet point to this that I didn't write down, but I do remember. Once you're in the Philippines, you can leave the Philippines up until the 6-month mark as long as your immigration fees are paid. However, After 6 months, you have to get what is called an exit visa. You just look online for exit visa locations. Once I did a video about this, and people tell me there's one in Cebu, there's one in Mindanao, there's one in several other places. I don't remember. And what you need to understand about this exit visa, before you buy your ticket to go home, if you don't have a ticket already, go to the immigration office that gives exit visas. Daisy and I went together in Cebu, and then that was the week that she went on her first 1 month vacation to see her family. So we were in Cebu to put her on a plane from Cebu to Mindanao and get my exit visa. It's a really, really simple process. I don't think we were in the office 2 hours. The people there 100% know what they're doing. You give them your passport. They do a background search on you. Let's say that you stayed in hotels, and if you left the hotel without paying the hotel bill, and the hotel or the company that you didn't pay any bill for filed a grievance with the Philippines authorities, and say you didn't pay a $10 hotel bill, well, now you can't get your exit visa. Okay, say you gave a bad credit card, and that your name pops up at the exit visa office. Now you can't get an exit visa, which means now you can't leave the Philippines, which means that you are staying in the Philippines until you clear this up by whatever means necessary. Probably you're going to need a lawyer to expedite it if you're in a hurry, and otherwise you're going to do a lot of running around. Of course, my exit visa, I was in the office at 9:30 in the morning in Cebu. It's very close to the boat port, the boat terminal in Cebu. There's a beautiful mall. It's in a beautiful mall, excuse me. And I was in and out in under 2 hours. If you don't pay any bills when you're in the Philippines, if you give a bad credit card, if you give a bad check, if you had got a jaywalking ticket that you didn't pay for, or you didn't show up in court for, you are not leaving the Philippines. After 6 months, they check and they come up with pretty much everything. There were people in there arguing about hotel bills that they gave their man the credit card and something went wrong with the credit card machine, and the immigration officer said, yes, sir, just go straighten all of that out. This is not the place to straighten that out. So after 6 months, you need an exit visa. It's not expensive. In fact, it was so inexpensive, it was less money than the boat fare from Bohol to Cebu and back, which was 1,000 pesos at the time. The exit visa was 500 pesos. It was less money than the boat fare. I don't remember what it was. So now I'm going to go back to the chat window. Okay, I see you guys are communicating with each other. Thank you for that. All right, now one lonely farmer says he milked up till 2011, which is kind of like retiring when you stop milking. And then in 2011, yeah, everything was automated and working off vacuum systems. However, you have to also check each udder for infection, and then you have to make sure no infectious material from the cow's udders go into the hopper. So I don't know how they do that now. Charlie had 55 cows, I think he had, and they didn't have the kind of rules and regulations then that they do now. So one lonely farmer would be the person to tell you. But then you have, so let's say you have this machine that you slap it onto the bottom of the cow's udders, because I don't remember, but I think some cows have less or more udders than others. Less or more udders than others. Could be a defect. It could be a type of cow. I don't really remember that because Charlie didn't get that equipment until maybe the mid 70s. And by then I was pretty much in in my late teens, and milking cows was not something I did. What I would do is buy a, what do they call it? They have a word for it. You buy a box of 1,000 rounds of 22 caliber ammunition, and 6 or 7 guys get a couple of cases of beer, and we used to sit in the was a slate quarry, regular slate that they make blackboards and pool tables out of, and it had plateaus. You could like step plateaus, and we would sit on one of the slate plateaus, and we would pick a tree, and then we would try to either knock a limb off the tree. Everybody had a bulk 1,000 round 22 caliber non-center fire rounds, and we would aim for a limb, and then we would take the limb and we'd take the other limb, and then we would try to knock down like a 6 inches off the top of the tree, which takes several thousand rounds, by the way. Not easy to cut down a tree with 22 caliber longs, but that's what we did. So Gary stopped in 2011 because, and I remember the prices for milk back in 2011. I'm not going to quote you what I remember to be exact, but let's say a farmer got 25 pesos per gallon for the milk. You think that's what it was? Their profit on that milk was about 3 or 4 cents on the gallon because of the price of fuel. Obama raised the price of fuel so high it was exorbitant, killed the price of the farm. But the next seller, the person who bought the milk and put it in the carton, was basically charging another 50 cents to put it in the carton, pasteurize it, and put it in the carton. So they were making 20 times what the farmer did, and the farmer owned all the equipment, everything. They have to clean that equipment at the end of each day, or however that works. So the pay to be a farmer, the profit might have been 2 or 3 cents a gallon after overhead, and the next guy made 50 cents a gallon with basically no overhead, except the truck and the pasteurizer. Now, so thanks for that piece of good information that you finally got away. That's 24/7 gig, my friend. Thank you. Now, Gary said if you buy each leg of the trip, you will need to get your bags and bring them to the next flight. And that's true. And there was something I forgot to tell you in regards to purchasing that type of a ticket. And I apologize, I didn't write it down. Danny Gordon gave that information to me this morning at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had just gotten up to get something to drink, and I saw that I remembered that I had to call him. Okay. The way to avoid what Gary just said is true. The way to avoid carrying your bags is to apply, and I have it written down somewhere, but you apply for first class tickets to upgrade to first class tickets, but you can only do that with Philippines Airlines. So if there's an available seat and you agree to the additional cost, which might be another $400 or might be $200, depending on how many seats they have available and whether or not they want to sell them. If you get the upgrade to the first class lounge, only available through Philippines Airlines, at each leg, a porter will come and take your bags. That's what Danny Gordon told me. So Gary Bono, your point is perfectly true. If you buy each leg, you have to transport. And let me tell you the distance in Toronto from where I got off, and I carried my bags a half a mile through the airport before I was done, an entire kilometer, with a backpack and 2 48-pound bags. Okay, I was pretty strong, but other there, I could have got a porter, but I just used it as an exercise program because I wanted to go to sleep, and exercise it was. So the only way to avoid carrying your own bags if they're heavy is to get a porter or upgrade immediately before you get on the flight to first class, but this option is only available on Philippines Airlines, according to Danny Gordon. And then a porter, your bags will be processed from leg to leg to leg. So thanks for bringing that up, Gary. That's true. So if you have a light bag or you have a backpack, it's no big deal. But if you have bags, you need to transport them. If you don't get the option to upgrade to a first class, or you can't because of no space, or you can't afford it. Okay, thank you for pointing that out, Gary. Daisy? Daisy? She might be in the container. She did go. Daisy? Daisy? She might have went to get some foods. Okay. Or she might have went to get, I don't know. Daisy and I don't keep track of each other. So, well, I keep track of her. She keeps track of me. We make sure each other is okay. But Daisy's a very, very, very efficient young lady. And she is not stupid when it comes to dealing with people. So and where we live is so safe. In fact, right now I'm looking at a man in a blue uniform with a shotgun. We have now 24-hour, 7-day a week private security because of the hotel next door and some of the things they do. The people are high-end guests. We have 24/7 shotgun and pistol security. I would say he's 20 meters away from him. I met the man yesterday. His name is Picao, not Pacquiao, but Pacquiao. It's Piquiuiao. Pacquiao. Nice guy. Told him, make sure you spend special attention to my house because, no, just kidding. But there's no crime here. But now that's interesting. So this is the most safest area in Bohol where there are foreigners. So we have no problem. So Daisy's okay. When I hear her again, she might have even went to they have I don't know, there's 100 people next door. Hold on. It's probably more than that. Yesterday they had music and bands and they had like 100 people next door. Some kind of party for a dive group from China. A lot of Chinese people diving in this area now, and in the Philippines, Koreans, Chinese, and Japanese, they're all wealthy people. I mean, anybody could take a 1-week dive vacation, but some of the people I see are here for 3 or 4 months. So I'm sure their parents or they own a successful business. So, but where we live is safe. So I'm not concerned about where Daisy is, not during the day, and at night, neither one of us go out. Okay. Chris Alexander, good luck with the hotel. Thank you. Yeah, I'll be going back to work next week, I believe. I cannot put my boots on yet, but that's a topic that I'm not really interested in discussing. What I am interested in discussing is anybody that has information like Gary Bono has, or has a question in regards to costs, please. Okay, we're not. Okay, let me go through the thing. Okay, ignorant questions or ridiculous questions like, "Am I Bama's brother? Do I look like Bama's brother? Did you feel like me just mentioning your name, Mr. Istori Yahi, blah blah blah?" Okay, now you got your 15 minutes of fame, and we're done with you. Don't ask me ridiculous questions, please. Don't make me do my trabajo. My trabajo is work. Don't make me work today. My trabajo is so easy now. I just push the block button. Am I Obama's brother? What are you waiting for me to say something sarcastic about the guy? I don't know the guy. I don't watch his videos. I've never been to his channel. Wouldn't know what he looked like. I hear people talking about the guy. He comes on here and says hello once in a while. He's pleasant and he leaves. So if you're looking to start trouble, there's other channels that love drama. go there or wait for their show to come on and go do that stuff over there. I'm not interested in the drama. If I want to cause drama between the Philippines genre, I'll make a list. But what's the point? Trucker Beast is looking good, Rabbi. Thank you. Feeling good. Very energetic. Got a lot of sleep last night. Tryptophan and anandamide. Oy vey. Oy vey. And shalom, baby. Offer S. Hello, Rabbi. Good evening. Now, Stackfry asked an interesting question. Are there unsafe areas in Bohol? Okay. Bohol has a pretty good sized city called Tagbilaran City. Okay. I have never been in that city past the hour of 9 o'clock at night. Okay. At 9 o'clock at night, the people that I personally wouldn't associate with are probably just getting ready to leave the house because they have those late night bars and discotheques and clubs, and they have the working girls and the street hustlers out at night. I would think that's what I have been told, like from a tricycle driver. So the tricycle driver that you'll meet when you first come to the Philippines, there isn't a tricycle driver in the city that doesn't know me. They'll ask you if you want a woman, if you want a man, if you want a lady boy, if you want a gay, if you want a massage. And basically any tricycle driver in the Philippines can get you whatever you want. So you have to give them a service fee, or you give them a service fee for providing you with the information and the place to go, and then they get a kickback from the money that you spend. That's the way the Philippines works. So I would think at night in the city where those areas are, it might not be as safe as in the province, but I've never been there. I don't know. I've never been in a bar in the Philippines since I got here. I've never been in a bar where there's a door that closes. I have been in some outside cheeky huts or nipa huts or outside thatched huts where you have a drink and or a glass, in my case, water, and you look at the ocean and other people drink alcohol. But I have never been in a bar in the Philippines, not even one time. Never been. I went to the red light district in Cebu with a guy named Dirty Bob. I call him Dirty Bob because he was a pig. And we stayed outside in the red light district on an outside table, outside the building. He said, let's go inside. They have dancing. I said, I don't go in bars. I don't go in bars. I have my reasons for not going in bars. They close that door, or stuff happens in a closed door environment that normally wouldn't happen outside. So is there unsafe areas? Probably. Have I ever heard of even one person being hurt? One foreigner being hurt? The answer is no. I heard of an Indian who does money changing near the BQ Mall was stabbed 2 years ago. But that was broad daylight, like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and he was a money changer, and they caught the man less than a block away, and he's in jail for life. Okay, I mean, he actually stabbed somebody in broad daylight and then ran down the block, and they caught him. Like people chased him, and they caught him. That was the only person I heard of that was killed in Bohol. Now, there might have been others, but and I look at the Bohol Chronicle News, but I don't know of another foreigner that's been robbed or shot or stabbed besides that foreigner. But that was his business, which is, by the way, the money changing business. It's a big business here in the Philippines. On a side note, there are money changers everywhere. They are everywhere. And every one of those people will tell you, they can tell if you're a foreigner and you're new to the Philippines. they actually remember your face. They don't know your face, they know you're new to the area or new right to the country. Every one of them will tell you they give you the best exchange rate. I'm going to tell you who does give you the best exchange rate, and I'm going to tell you how to get to his store. Okay. First of all, the man's name is Danny. He's an Indian from India. His wife's name is Punja. 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 Danny and Punja. The way you get, and this is why I'm telling you, because it's so simple to get to Danny's money changer place. When money was 48 pesos on the American market, Danny was giving me 46 because they take a percentage. Okay. The other money changers were going 45, 45 2. Some of them would go down to 44 8. Danny, I said to Danny, look, I will give you whatever money I have when I get it, when I come back from my trip from New York, and I will give it to you, but I want the best rate. So I would take the money and give it to Danny. And that's how I got. Now, Danny's rate was only 1 point higher, but he didn't argue with you about it. He just gave you that price. If I argued with him, which I did, I got it as like 1.3 points more in $100 bills. However, because I could have brought that money straight to the bank and put it into the bank, but the bank exchange rate is less than the money changes. So you're better off going to a money changer, but you got to get a good one. And then there's very little crime in Bahal with the money changers other than that incident that occurred where the money changer got stabbed. Now, how you get to Danny's money changing store? Okay, you go to the front entrance of the BQ Mall. Okay, now you're walking out of the BQ Mall, and what you see in front of you is the Alturas Mall. That's what you do is you cross the street and go to the left. You cross the street and go to the left. You go 200 feet to the corner. You're going to see a bunch of stands where they fix and repair shoes and a vegetable stand, and you make a right. And you go another 175 feet. And you look over to the left-hand side while you're walking that 175 feet. Stay on the Astoria Mall block so you can look to the left. You're going to see Rose Pharmacy is going to be on the corner. The store you want is the 7 stores down to the right. There's 3 money changers. They all sell electronics, stereos, speaker systems, and gadgets, whatever. They sell karaoke machines. Danny sells some pots and pans and some trinkets. He just sticks with money changing. So you'll see 3 money changers. On the right is Danny's shop. It's the one to the far right as you can go. It's the last money changing store. It's the smallest storefront. It's only 4 meters, less than 4 meters wide. The others are 5 or 6 or 7 meters wide. It's the smallest. It's all the way on the right. Walk in the back and tell Danny or Punja that I sent you, because although I haven't exchanged money in 2 years, I like that man. He was an honest man. He did an honest business. And I actually stop on my way to the bakery and still say hello to Danny and Punja. And anybody who asks me about money changing, I give them this information, and they go to the other 2 stores and they go to Danny and they say, Mike, you were right. Okay, so I'm not giving you, I don't make anything from it, but if you mention my name, you're going to get the best price right off the bat. Go to the other 3 stores, compare prices, but don't give them your money till you speak with Danny or Punja. Okay, so getting back to, is it safe in Bahal? Alona Beach is where 90% of the tourists are on the island of Bahal, maybe 95%. And I lived there in Alona Beach, or within a kilometer of Alona Beach, from March 16th, which I remember because it's like St. Patrick's Day in America, until September, the end of September, maybe beginning of October. So I lived there for 6 months, and I never once ever heard of anybody being harassed violently in Helena Beach. However, there's a lot of ladyboys in Helena Beach, and there's a lot of ladyboys in Helena Beach, and there are a lot of ladyboys in Helena Beach, and they all want you to have what they call the ladyboy experience, which is different than the Jimi Hendrix experience. And after a few days of me living there, they all knew I wasn't interested in the ladyboy experience. And I would tell them in New York accent. And they all got that right away because they all knew I was a new tourist, and I had to clear that up right from the get-go. And after maybe 48 hours, no one asked me if I wanted the ladyboy experience after that. If you got involved with, now, I have not seen drugs in the island of Bohol. I think once, now I know for a fact, once I smelled marijuana on the beach of Bohol. One time in 6 months that I lived in Helena Beach did I smell marijuana. Don't get involved with drugs in the Philippines. Don't do it. If somebody walks up to you and they have your favorite drug, tell them, I don't do drugs. Get out of my face. I do not do drugs. Get out of my face. I do not do drugs. Get out of my face. Or I'm going to call the police. Because chances are you're already talking to the police and they're not far away. That's how you can get in trouble in the Philippines. And I am talking life imprisonment for whatever drugs that might be available is a life imprisonment sentence for a tourist or a vacationer. There are people that come here and they have their prescription drugs and they think they're cute. They're going to sell them on the street to another foreigner. They go to jail for life or a couple of years before their case is heard. So can you get in trouble? Is there trouble in the Philippines? It is. There is. You really, 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 really need to not get involved with people on the street. The girls that you want to pick up and give money to in the city, pretty much an accepted business. Even in Helena Beach, it's an acceptable practice for the girls to ask for money for their companionship. I never did it. I'm never going to do it. I had no reason to do it, and I suggest you don't do it. There's enough girls in the mall if you want to meet a girl, or in City Hardware, or in the bank. Not necessarily in the bank. That's a little bit more difficult. But there's enough girl. You want to meet a girl? Go to the supermarket, find the manager of each department. Cosmetics department is where I would start. Makeup, cosmetics, hair coloring solutions. Go there, ask the manager, because that's the biggest department in the department store. 90% of the people in the department store are young, under the age of 24, women. Ask the manager if there's a woman that wants to date a foreigner. And even tell the manager that you're only here for 3 weeks or a month. Tell her the truth. She'll find you a girl. She'll find you a girl that wants to meet a foreigner. You might meet the girl of your dreams. But picking up girls on the street, probably not. Probably not. Wouldn't do that. Okay. Yeah, Gary. No, I don't. The jackhammer attachments were 6,000 American dollars. I don't own the equipment, and for me to try to sell it, the owner of the machine does not want to buy the equipment. So I don't care. I only have 2 more holes to dig, and once I put the new teeth on the bucket, it digs fine. By the time you put the jackhammer on, by the time you dig, it's all coral right from the get-go. There's no dirt on my property. It's 6 inches of pumice, and then it's all coral. By the time you put the jackhammer on, take the bucket off, put the jackhammer on, that's probably 35 or 40 minutes. Okay? Then you put the jackhammer on and you jackhammer some out, and then you put the bucket on to clear the hole, and you got another hour there. It doesn't actually take me that long to dig the hole, maybe 2 days. But with the jackhammer, it might take me half the time. So it would be something I would have to sell, and the owner of the machine doesn't want to buy it. So I would be stuck with a 6,000 pound, 3,500 pound piece of steel in the backyard for the rest of my life. So I worked around it, but it's a good question. It's a legitimate question. It's something I would do if I owned all the equipment and I thought I could sell the equipment. That would be something for as much or more money than I paid for it, but that's not going to happen. No one's going to buy equipment from a foreigner. They'll let you store that equipment for the rest of your life until you want to pay somebody to take it away. Filipinos don't give money to foreigners for anything. I make videos for a store and tell you that this is the good store to go to, the good buffet to go to. I make an agreement with the manager of the store. If I put the video up, once it gets 1,000 views, you give me a free dinner. I go back there for my free dinner. I show them the video has 1,000 views. They tell me no, so we cannot do that. The same establishment, but a different manager because they change morning till night, week to week, month to month, whatever. So I just told them, watch this. And I took my cell phone out and I just put the video on private. No one will ever see your video. I had 8,000 views on that one buffet from 3 videos I made, 8,000 views. 25 people told me they took themselves and their friends. So at least 100 meals at 250 pesos, or 100 times 250, or 25,000 pesos was spent in that store because of my videos, and they wouldn't give me a loan. Daisy was in Mindanao. I was going to buy the tickets for Daisy's Mindanao. They wouldn't give me a loan a 250 peso meal. So Filipinos don't give foreigners money. Get that through your head right now. Don't come here with something that you think is worth money and think you're going to sell it. It's not going to happen. You might sell it to another foreigner through Facebook, but you're not selling anything at all to a Filipino or a Filipino company or a Filipino business or a Filipino anything. No Filipino is going to give any foreigner any real money for anything. So whatever you bring, say you brought a Milwaukee skill saw that was worth, well, first of all, it's 110 volts. But so let's go with something else. Let's say you brought a street saw, okay? Any of the name brand street saws that is worth 60,000 pesos or 1,100 bucks with the diamond blade. Let's say you paid $1,100 for a street saw, and a Filipino needed a street saw. They might offer you 10,000 pesos for that street saw, even though it's worth 60 and it's brand new with a brand new diamond blade. You might get 20, but you're never going to get 30. You're never going to get 40% of what the tool is worth from any Filipino. They will actually physically go and spend 60,000 pesos at a store for a new one before they'll give you 20,000 pesos for your new one. They will not give you money. It's something that they don't do because Filipinos only spend money on a Filipino business. So even though it costs them an additional 40,000 pesos for the same tool you have, no Filipino is going to make money from that 40 pesos according to their small understanding of capitalism. By you selling it, you have 60,000 pesos to spend in their country. No, they want it directly to go to a Filipino. All right, Stackfire, you're going to ask me questions about police reports and about kidnapping. Here's what you need to do. Get a pencil and paper. Take your question and write it down on a piece of paper because maybe you forgot what the question is. It says, what about the possibility of kidnapping? Take your question and Google it and say, what about the possibility of kidnapping in Bohol? And then you'll come up with the police statistics. I'm not a police statistic memorized type of guy. Okay. I don't follow that stuff. It's not important to me, but I can't answer 12 questions about crime rates in the Philippines. You asked me a legitimate question about, is there crime here? I told you where there is crime. I'm not going to do this for the rest of the day. Take the question, put it in Google, put the island of Bohol, and you're going to have crime. You're going to come to a page or Google crime statistics for Bohol. It'll show you crime statistics all the way back to 2005. And then you can see it's pretty legitimate. You can see the answer to your question. But for me to answer your question with any authority, I would have to do that. And I don't really wish to do that. I'm not being facetious and I'm not being a jerk, but these are simple things that you can ask yourself. Ask Google, just put crime stats for Bohol, 2005 to 2018. Every piece of information that you apparently require, even I don't know if you're coming to the Philippines or you just want to ask questions to hear me say stack fire, stack fire, stack fire, stack fire. Okay? Please, I don't know. Yep. That article that you mentioned is in Google. Just Google the information you put in your question and it will show up. It's definitely there. I guarantee you, you will get more information from that article than I could give you. Hello, Scott. Now, Scott is another member of my Patreon community. Scott may very well be a better writer than Shakespeare. He writes some interesting stuff. Loves my videos on Patreon. Can't share them with his friends. Can't share them at his office. Can't share them with his associates. But he loves my videos from Patreon, especially where I praise Mr. Obama 16 different ways from Sunday. And YouTube doesn't appreciate my love for Mr. Obama, and I don't understand why. Because in 2010, my love for Mr. Obama went viral every time, every video. 10,000 views in the first week, 20,000 views, 30,000 views, 40,000, 100,000 views. And then when Google took it over in 2012, those same videos, after I got my channel removed because of the love I shared for Mr. Obama, when Google took over, I had videos with 50,000 views in 2 weeks, let's say. I reposted the videos on my new channel because Google went, not allowed, and canceled my channel. And all those videos are on Patreon. So now I put the same video up on Google on YouTube, and in 6 years, the highest of my Obama videos of a political satire comedy nature has 1,800 views, where let's say the 200 videos I have on Patreon of Obama would have had 20 million views in a year. When Google bought it, they shut my channel down. And now those same 200 videos, if I could put them on YouTube, might get a total of 200 videos times 120,000 views. Instead of 2 million views, I might get 2,000 views, and they would shut my channel down anyway. So, okay, Stackfire was in the middle of heard of, and then he stopped at that's Stackfire. I don't know how well you are versed in the internet, but take the question, whatever question you have, just pose it in the form of a question. How many people were kidnapped in the Philippines? That's a question. Put it in there, and the answer is going to pop up. And it's going to go island by island, and then it's going to go city by city. So that would be my suggestion to you. Michael Skinner. And I was talking about him yesterday. Michael Skinner. I remember your name. Hello, Michael. I'm 28, and I swear girls in the mall talk to me. If you are older, they don't care. The women love foreign guys. No needs to buy a woman for the night. Just talk to them, okay? I already explained. Just go into the city, in the department stores. Even me, in my disheveled fashion, because they know I live here and I'm a foreigner. I could meet a girl I would say I could meet a nice, good-looking girl with a job every 3 hours if I wanted to do that. And I mean a nice, good-looking girl with a job every 3 hours that would be interested in a long-term relationship. Or I could meet a nice girl for a 2 or 3 week relationship to see if I like them and if they like me. You're going to treat them to dinner and breakfast and lunch, and they're going to sleep in an air-conditioned room, and they're going to treat you with great respect. I wouldn't leave my wallet around, put it in the safe, but you still don't know who they are. But if the girl has a job in a store, probably she's not a criminal. Girls that are criminals don't get jobs in department stores. Well, that's a big benefit of meeting somebody in a department store or a mall or something like that. Scott, okay, so Scott says, how far are good diving areas? Right now, I'm looking at, right now, I am looking at a diving platform 250 meters from here, on the other side of the reef, with no less than 30 divers on the diving platform. And that's some of the nicest diving in the Philippines. 250 meters from my front door. There are 12, maybe more dive boats that are parked 100 meters from where I am sitting right now. 100 meters away, there are 12 to 14 dive boats parked every day at night. And there are 3 major dive shops within 1,000 feet of here. And if you go down, this is right near, it's at the end of, it's near the, let's say near the Moro Army Hotel, not so far away from there. There's dive boats. You couldn't walk 10 minutes in any direction without running into a dive center. And yes, you can rent up to par equipment. In other words, all the equipment is kept on a maintenance schedule. Somebody comes in and maintains all the equipment. Yeah, you could. And a dive boat, the price of a dive boat, if you want to go diving to Balikasag Island, which is a 20-minute run from boat by here, the price of the diving is 3,500 pesos, covers your rental equipment. That's $70. Your rental equipment, but you need to bring your own lunch and food. If you get to the island with no lunch and food, you're going to spend like 150 pesos for a coconut that here you might pay 25 pesos for. And the food is accordingly the same because they have to bring it to the island. And then if it's refrigerated food, they have to run a generator. And that's 5 times the cost of electric that you get off the wire system. So the first tank is 3,500 pesos for your first 45-minute dive. And the second tank is in another 3,500 pesos. I don't know how they figure that. No, I'm only kidding. The second tank, I think, is 1,500 pesos. But they try to get you for a double fee for a double tank in Alona Beach because they look at you and they give you the long nose price. So they'll tell you 3,500 for a tank. And then you say, what if I want 2 tanks? And they'll say double it. But if you say, what the hell? They'll tell you, no, sorry, I made a mistake. It's 5,000 pesos or $100 for 2 tanks. But they're shallow dives. They don't have really deep dives here. There's nothing to see in deep water. Okay, so I hope that, yeah, the equipment is state-of-the-art equipment. You're going to be diving. Let's say you went on a dive boat that left from this beach here. You're going to be on a dive boat. 100% of the people on the dive boats that left today, about 300 people left from this beach today. I would say I didn't see a white person. I saw Chinese, Korean, and Japanese. May have been a white person, but I didn't see one. And I'm sitting here looking, and I look out each time just because I like the view. But you're going to be diving with Koreans, Chinese, and Japanese. Um, they're going to have, just like in the movies, they're going to have 25 cameras with 16 lights and 4,000 gadgets attached to their dive gear. It's funny. So, so that's what you're going to pay. $100 for 2 dives, but you should bring your own food because the food on the island is garbage anyway. Scott says the Obama videos are hysterical, funny, highly entertaining, and frighteningly accurate and predictive. I predicted the benefits of Mr. Obama back in 2008 when I was writing my book, Angels on the Ark. I was so bang on between what I discussed about Mr. Obama and the Vatican and Mr. Obama's husband, I mean wife. I was so accurate. I was 100% accurate. I missed a few small points of the benefits of Mr. Obama because he was such a, he did so many things for America. It would be hard for me to know all the wonderful benefits that Mr. Obama was going to bestow on the American people. So I might have missed a few, but all the key points I hit bang on in my book and in my videos. And that's why the YouTube doesn't let me keep the Obama videos on. There are videos about Mr. Obama, about regarding Fukushima and what he did, how he helped everybody out through the Fukushima accident or catastrophe, how he was so helpful during that process, and the U.S. Ronald Reagan, and how they let those people be rained upon with nuclear fallout. Mr. Obama was so helpful in those matters that I felt compelled to give Mr. Obama praise for those matters. And YouTube doesn't think I should give Mr. Obama the praise I bestowed upon him. So they would shut my channel down in a heartbeat if some of those videos were posted. Some of them I still don't have posted. I only post to my Patreon members who through the email. Okay, this way no one could say I put them on a public venue, and I put the caveat that these videos are not to be copied or forwarded to anybody. If you do so, not my fault, but there are videos I made about Mr. Obama where there was so much praise in so many, it's in such a professional fashion, because far be it from me to be sarcastic. I praised Mr. Obama up and down and sideways for 5 years, and no one listened. Adirondack wants me to add some jokes. I actually don't know any jokes. I could sing. Adirondack, would you like me to sing? I could sing. I have a song. You're welcome, Scott. Yeah, it's $100 a day for diving. I might be able to get you a discount, but it wouldn't be much. It might be 500 pesos for the day. I would not I would not pay to go on a dive boat. I have paid to go diving, but and it was a little bit less in Palawan. It was 3,500 for 2 tanks. But you got a boat ride that went 20 kilometers away from the dive resort I was living in, and 20 kilometers back. So it was well worth the trip just for the view. Okay, I could sing the Manila Ladybug song. It's the I call it the Manila Ladybug Hunter song. Gary wants me to talk about the DOD. You know, they flag almost. They flag a lot of stuff. I mean, I could say the Dickadoom, 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 Doom, Doom, Dickadoom, 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 Dickadoom. And ladies and gentlemen, I present you with the Dickadoom Award, which is similar to the I I I gonna have to keep this a little cleaner than that. Gary, thanks. Yeah, you. Why? Maybe you should read. I don't. I'm trying to stay away from that stuff. I'm trying to. I am being censored so heavily by YouTube, not because of the Dickadoom, because my number one video has Dickadoom in the title. They don't mind that, but they mind how I associate the Dickadoom. Now, just to sing the Dickadoom, 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 and then, but once I start bringing out the dolls and the masks and stuff like that, no, not allowed. But thanks for the memories. 88, Nikito. I thought you were retired. Why the uniform? Well, you don't follow my channel. I'm building a hotel here in the Philippines. You want to know about the hotel and the hotel construction? You have to become a member of my Patreon account. That you don't follow my channel means you're probably not going to become a member of my Patreon account, and that's okay. But that's the last question. I don't. It's not a bad question. It's a legitimate question. I just felt like dressing up today, as opposed to just wearing my day clothes. I felt like feeling like I was a construction worker again. So, only information I give out about building my hotel from this day forward, or from a month and a half, only talk about my hotel and questions about the hotel I'm building on Patreon. Which, in case you missed it in the beginning, I received 3 new Patreon members this month: Christopher, Samuel, and why would I forget that other man's name? Hold on. I shouldn't have forgot that other man's name. Christopher, Samuel. Well, there was 3. So okay. So hold on. Okay. And Craig. Craig is a name that's not a common name for me. So Craig, Samuel, Craig, and Christopher became members of my Patreon account this week, and I greatly appreciated. And I offered them the services of a phone call or a Skype, and Scott and Gary and anybody else that's on my Patreon account or in my Patreon membership subscription base that's here now will confirm. You give me your phone number and ask me questions, I call you up. Gary Bono, yeah. Danny Gordon is not a member of my Patreon account, but I spoke with Danny Gordon about that information regarding the plane tickets this morning, because on 2 occasions, and I don't solicit this and I'm not asking people, but on 2 occasions, Danny Gordon did a super chat of $20, which was totally uncalled for. I didn't solicit it. I didn't even think about it. But he did that, and because he did that, and because he's moving to the Philippines, I said, "Give me your phone number. I'll give you a call," and I did. So so if somebody has legitimate cause for me to call them, they can give me information about something I don't know about. I'd be happy to call you up. It's for me. It's a $2.95 charge per month to call anybody in America. So I'm going to go back. My friend Bo. There's one of my oldest friends in the whole YouTube genre, and one of the few people I met. Obama said to Putin, cut it out. So he's got that, eh? That's right, Bo. Bo knows entertainment. Bo is a, let me tell you about Bo. Bo and I started talking to each other about 8 years ago when I first started my channel. Bo had several thousand subscribers then. Bo tells the truth about everything. And that's why Bo has 20-something thousand subscribers, and the average video of Bo in views is about 300 from what I see. Okay. Bo Knows Entertainment is also a professional musician. Now, Bo Knows Entertainment also studied maritime law, or the law that the United States is actually underneath right now. And Bo studied this very hard because of a lawsuit or a foreclosure on one of his houses. He studied the law in regards to how many people had signed, how many people had they sold the mortgages to. And Bo knows a lot of things, but he understands this maritime law. Whereas if you wish to drive a car without a driver's license, he went through the entire process to learn how to do that. However much time it took him to do that, he did it. And I do believe that Bo ended up driving, or Bo is now driving without a license, by saying that you are a certain type of person, and I don't remember what it was, and that you're traveling and you're not doing commercial work, you're not charging money, that you're just traveling from one point to another, some words to that effect. Bo is an expert on the maritime law. Bo has one of the greatest channels on YouTube that's underrated by far. And Bo and I met in in Isla Morada at a hotel that I used to work at, and we made some videos there. You can look up, and we were on top of like a 3-story high nipa hut overlooking the ocean. And we spent the whole day together, and then he played music at a bar in Marathon, which was 25 miles in the opposite direction. And I wanted to get back home. It was New Year's Eve. I was doing something else. So Bo and I had a most wonderful experience together. We just talked about Mr. Obama, and we talked about Mr. Obama, and we talked about Mr. Obama. And mostly we just talked about Mr. Obama. And Bo knows. Bo knows what was going to happen to this country. Him and I agreed. Well, with this country, Bo knows what was going to happen to America. We both agreed on that. And that's why our channels are censored. But Bo knows. If you want to talk about maritime law or how to drive without a driver's license, I don't know how many videos Bo has up on that, but he would be the person to go see. Would I go through all that trouble? No, it was just cheaper for me to pay $50 for a license. But by signing your name on the back of the license, you agree that you are a certain type of citizen and that you're doing business commercially, and basically the government owns you. So I don't know anything about that, but Bo knows, and that's why we call him Bo Knows Entertainment. And that's why he calls it Bo Knows Entertainment, because the American justice system is a joke. And that's the truth. Thanks for stopping by, Bo. Appreciate that. You know how much I love. And Bo also posts, whenever he sees a video about a lawyer being arrested, child molestation by a judge, molestation of priests and children, Bo is more than happy to share that information with you. Because Bo knows how important those things are to a working class, normal, intelligent, conservative human being. Bo likes to share the wealth when it comes to a judge being arrested for child trafficking and things like that. Bo knows. Bo Knows Entertainment. There you go. Michael Skinner asked me for a link to my Patreon account, so I'll give that to you now. Thanks for asking. And I'll give you a description in case you missed the description of my Patreon account. Here is the link. It's pretty simple. Just put Michael Fazio Patreon. But being that you asked, I'll tell you that there's 400 videos. About 150 plus are about Mr. Obama and the love I share with Bono's Entertainment with Mr. Obama. I also do marriage counseling. I believe it or not, the congenial self that I am, I do marriage counseling. What you need to do is just sit down with a couple of friends, maybe have a couple of beers, get some popcorn, and just start watching my marriage counseling series videos. And, everything that you need to know about marriage counseling is just, I summed it up in just one video, but I have several more. I'm going to post one every 2 weeks to my Patreon account. I try to post 2 to 3 new videos on my Patreon account that would be totally unacceptable and worthy of having my channel taken down on YouTube. I post them privately and age restricted if necessary, and I post them onto my Patreon account. And that's where I keep all the good stuff. That's like having a liquor cabinet with shelves and grades. The high quality stuff is above the $10 tier level. Some of them are an hour long, some of them are an hour and a half long, some of them are just off the chart, off the chain funny, and some of them are off the chain sarcastic, but Google deems them off the chain, period. Not allowed. Like that. Google. Censor Michael Fazio. Just even I put the videos on Patreon, my view counts go down, but I don't care. I'm going to post what I want. It's legal. It's a legal platform to post anything you want privately, and that's what I do. Okay. Pops Martin. I have no idea the answer to your question. That would imply that I would hang out with rich Middle Eastern men. I don't know what rich Middle Eastern men do because I don't know any rich Middle Eastern men. Though it's a legitimate question, and it's probably something that you're interested in for whatever reason. Where I live, there are no rich Middle Eastern men. Okay, I wouldn't see one. Well, there's a very rich hotel that's not about a kilometer from me, and you can go to the restaurant or the bar in the hotel if you want to overlook the ocean and have a meal or a drink. I don't, because an orange juice there is 320 pesos, which is like $6.50. Breakfast, the buffet starts at, I think the buffet starts at 16 or 1700 pesos per person, which is like 36 or $40 for each person, which might be a good buffet, but it's not in my price category. Although I could afford it if I want to, if I wanted to, but I would not. And even if someone came here and wanted to go, if some people offer me to have a dinner, I would pick a restaurant where the dinner was going to cost under $10 for me and Daisy. If someone insisted on going to the buffet, I would go. But digressing back to Middle Eastern men, I met. I'll answer your question with the one person I know. I won't mention his name. He's in one of my Alona Beach videos. He buys scrap metal for Dubai. He's a buyer. He won't talk to you unless you have 300,000 tons. Okay? And he'll buy less, but he's looking for ships that hold 250, 300,000 tons. And he's not looking for one shipload. He's looking for multiple shiploads. This is when I got here in 2014. That was the only Middle Eastern, and he was a rich Middle Eastern man, according to your question. I would say, yeah, he fit that category. But was he here to bring back women? He was in love, seriously in love with a woman that's in my Alona Beach video. Okay, I don't remember the name of the video, but he was a great man. He paid for everything for the 3 days that I stayed with him. kind of got upset about that, and I would end up paying the bill myself, but he would end up making the man give me back the money. So he was a rich Middle Eastern man that bought steel from any country, 300,000 tons or more, entire ships, entire container ships. He wanted to buy he'd buy the whole ship too and scrap it if it was an old ship. He was, what did he come here to abuse women? No, he did not. Came here, he was in love with the girl that I stayed in a hotel in Cebu with him I was in the hotel for 2 months. He was in the hotel for 6 weeks of those 2 months. When I moved, we had breakfast together most days for 6 weeks. Me, him, and his girlfriend, because we got along really well. And when I moved to Bohol, he came to Bohol, and I lived in Alona Beach, and he bought breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me for 3 days that he stayed here. Paid for a dive, an excursion boat on 2 occasions that we went out on. Great guy, but he wasn't here. He wasn't a sex tourist. What he did with the girls when he went back to his country, Dubai, I don't know, but he was not a sex tourist. He was a regular, rich, wealthy businessman with manners and mannerisms of a rich, wealthy businessman. Perfect gentleman. Okay, Jimmy Dory, I could make it so you don't have to listen. There's a mute button on your computer, or you could just go away. I don't understand. What I do understand is I need water. Because talking about incredibly torturous listening to this guy, I need more water so I can talk for another hour. But hold on. I should sing. I am. What is a man that is not a man? Answer me, riddle me this, Batman. What is a man that is not a man? And the answer to the riddle is he is a ladybug hunter from Manila. He is a ladybug hunter from Manila. He appears to be a man. He acts like a man. He talks like a man. He walks like a man, but he is not a man. He is the Manila Ladybug Hunter. Oh, 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 oh. Who is he? How are you? How you doing? Who is he? He is the Ladybug Hunter from Manila. That's right. Tell him I said hello. Because I love that guy so much because he always makes mention of me in his videos, but he leaves it's like it's a derogatory term. Okay, he uses my name but spells it differently in a derogatory fashion. I don't appreciate that much at all. I actually begged him to come and use that derogatory term up close and personal, so he could see that my pupils dilate. But so far, there's no luck. So I watched the live stream he did a few weeks ago, and he used that derogatory term. So I made up the Ladybug Hunter from Manila song just for him. And I could post it, and give me a minute. I need water. Oh, Scott, I want to tell you something about the anise. Another benefit of using the anise is that what happens when you use the anise is the anise keeps germs from forming in the bottle, because normally a bottle of water would accumulate a certain amount of germs from your saliva going back into the bottle. But the anise, even though there's only a small amount of anise, the anise kills the bacteria. So give me a moment here. do my thing. It's very cold. So I was sure I told Scott to get this product called anise. Put it in your water bottle. You can leave your water bottle out, glass bottle. You leave it out in the sun for 2 weeks after your saliva goes into the bottle, and you drink the water. There's no bacteria in the bottle because the anise kills the bacteria. Plus, it gives you the flavor of licorice. So, Jimmy Dory, I hope that I'm becoming even more incredibly torturous listening to me. Okay, who asked you to come here? I guess Jimmy Dory has no subscribers. He wants his 15 minutes of fame. I'm going to give it to him right now. Jimmy Dory, Jimmy Dory, Jimmy Dory. Don't let the dory hit you in the rectum on the way out. Jimmy Dory, Jimmy Dory, Jimmy Dory, Jimmy Dory, Jimmy Dory. There you go. There's your Walk of Fame. Pop Smart, and that's exactly what I mean. But you'd have to see the videos on Patreon to get the full effect, because I tell you, I have videos of Mr. Obama, and the love I share with Mr. Obama, which is completely different than the man love that Mr. Obama shares with Mr. Obama, as Pop Martin said, it's completely different. I would get my channel would get taken down in a day. If it lasted a day, if I posted those videos I have on Patreon on YouTube, even though in 2010 YouTube pushed those videos onto the public, and I'm talking all my Obama videos were #1 Obama videos. If you went to Obama comedy on YouTube, the first 5 pages would be Michael Fazio Obama comedy. Now, if you press Obama comedy on YouTube and put my name in it, you'll come to some of the ones that are still left, but none of the good ones. Because, as Scott says, the American justice system is co-opted and rotted. And even though I love Google, and I associate Google with, for some reason, Google and global balls, I don't know. It's like Christmas, like a Christmas song. Google has become corrupted, and they're censoring and shadow banning my channel, and they know they're doing it, and I know they're doing it, and everybody knows they're doing it, and there's not much I could do about it. Because I make videos walking the street, I get the people in the cargo handling areas at the airport dancing and having, making believe that they're having sexual relationships with a box or with another, with a ghost or something like that. I get them dancing in the aisles, and I get 500 views. And you get the man, a ladybug hunter in Manila. He puts a video up of watching the cars go by on the street, and he gets 2,500 views in 3 days. Because at some point in the video, he says, "Beautiful girl in traffic," something like that. And you'll see 15 seconds of a beautiful girl's face that he says, "Hi, how are you?" and and 2,500 people will watch a video of traffic, and then 15 seconds of the girl's face. I actually interact. Oh, that guy doesn't know any of the language too, by the way. Doesn't know how to say good morning or good afternoon or good evening. Doesn't know how to say "Ikao" to the girls, which means I love you. Doesn't know how to say "Ugma," which is tomorrow. Doesn't know how to say "Onahan," which is the front. "To-o," which is the left, your right side. "Wala," your right side. "Saka" up. "Naug" down. Iluk, armpits. "The longan." "Mata" for your eyes. Doesn't know a single word. Doesn't know "sabat" means, that would be Jimmy Dory. I am doing now "sabat," making noise. "Sabat, sabat, sabat." Doesn't know that. how he's just, the cars are doing sabah, the trucks are doing sabah, he's doing sabah, doesn't know the word makahilo for poison in the sky, never talks about the sky, says there's no such things as poison clouds in the sky. The man is a mentally deranged individual that has a one-track mind of showing you traffic in the Philippines and interviewing ladyboys and prostitutes. That's his gig. So I thought that, being that he called me a derogatory term, I would be show some love back in his direction with the Ladybug Hunter song. The Manila Ladybug Hunter in Manila song. Gringo Punta says, Fazio, I tried to be Fazio for president 2012. You Google, go on to Google right now and Google Michael Fazio for president. There's probably 15, 20, 30 videos. I don't know how many, a lot, with that says the word Michael Fazio for president. And I really wanted to be president. I wanted to beat Obama in 2012. I did everything I could to try to become president in 2012. And by making videos and telling people how great I would be, what a great president I would be. Didn't work out like that. And unfortunately, Mr. Trump didn't pick me for vice president either. So it's hot here. Believe me, it's hot here. Okay. Mike Schoolcraft, who did you think was dead? Oh, that's the other thing. The Manila Ladybug Hunter. He allowed people to go on his channel. He made a video, Michael Fazio. I forgot the exact title, but pertaining to Michael Fazio being dead. And then people on his channel, subscribers, more specifically the Hemorrhoid, the guy who I lovingly call the Hemorrhoid, told the people on the Ladybug Hunter from Manila's channel that I was dead. But not only did I die, Daisy killed me. And Daisy learned how to kill her boyfriends and husbands from Daisy's mother, who also is a husband and boyfriend killer, what we call black widows in America. And that's how Daisy learned how to kill me. And that's why I wasn't on YouTube. Meanwhile, all we had was an earthquake, no electric, no power, no water for 5 weeks. And I couldn't go on. And then the story spread throughout the internet by 5 other channels. This is the love that the people here gave me. I can't wait to return the love when somebody walks up and says, hi, how you doing? You remember me? I'm so-and-so. And then you're going to see my pupils dilate. Okay? So because of the love I want to share with these people. And then he let people put that Daisy murdered me on the video. He let people put that Daisy murdered me in the video. And a lot of people were saying it too. I heard Daisy killed you. And that other guy, I'm not going to mention their name. I don't mention anybody's name. If you notice, can't trace it back to me. That's one thing that you're not allowed to do, is mention somebody's name. So, but you get the idea. You can fantasize as to who it would be. And if you can't fantasize as to who it would be, then you don't watch much YouTube drama. But okay, so we have another Pops Martin YouTube, Michael Fazio for President 2020. Thank you, Pops. Daisy. Hold on, I'm gonna make sure if she's here, she's okay. She might have taken a walk down the beach. Just give me a minute. Daisy. She must have got involved with some friends on the beach. Okay. She's not outside. I was just wanted to make sure she didn't fall down, get hurt. But but she's not outside. She must have. She went to the beach. She went swimming. She might have went down to one of the hotels to have lunch or something. So, all right, Pops Martin. Yep, Minister. Okay, I stopped drinking because I need 2 days to recover, which eats up half the week. Yeah, I don't drink at all anymore, Pops. I don't. I have one shot of rum, sometimes two before I go to sleep if I drank too much coffee that day. But that's my. Oh, boy, it's hot in here. That's my. That's where I max out at 2 shots, and those 2 shots are really useless because all it does is put me to sleep. Okay, change the location of the fan. There we go. That'll cool it down for a little while. It's 135 degrees on the roof. All right. Brandon Canol Carpati, Florida, loves my channels, preparing to come to the Philippines again. Well, if you want advice on how to save money, this is on getting here. You should watch this live stream from the beginning, and it'll tell you how to get tickets, how to ship your goods here if you're going to stay here. One thing I forgot to tell you about how long it takes. The shipping company will tell you it takes about 12 weeks to get your goods here. Mine took 13 weeks, and then 13 of the boxes, I think, came in one load, which came at the 15-week mark, which is okay. They all showed up. Nothing was missing. Pops Martin. Now he's trying to get on my good side. Daisy? No, that's not Daisy's voice. Yeah, me and CNN, we'd have stuff to talk about. Donald Trump. You know, the funny thing about Donald Trump is you don't understand. Most people don't understand New York. I grew up in Howard Beach, Queens, which is um, it's on the south side of Queens. Okay, it's right next to Kennedy Airport. And Donald Trump grew up in Kew Gardens. It's only like 12, not even, maybe 9 kilometers from my house. Donald Trump's house was 9 kilometers from my house, but he lived in a completely different type of neighborhood. It wasn't gated, but they were all 150, 200-year-old houses, 20 rooms, 25, 30-room houses with estates with big lawns and stuff like that. But the attitude that Trump has and that I have is the same. If I got something to say, I'm going to say it. You don't like what I have to say? Then don't listen. If I'm your boss, you still don't have to listen. You can quit, or I could fire you. But I don't care. You're going to either do what I tell you to do, or you're going to go find somebody else to work for. It's real simple. All right. Okay. So Brandon said he's going to, if you go through from if you're going to move here, there's a lot of information how to save money, airline tickets, how to save money shipping by buying boxes from the company that you're going to ship through, by buying your airline tickets at a certain predetermined date before you leave for the Philippines. There's a lot of information at the beginning of this video. This didn't end up being only about shipping, but no one has any questions about shipping. And if you have other questions about the Philippines that I can help you with, that I can give the gentleman that asked me about the crime statistics would be, I would have to look up what the crime statistics are, and you could look them up as easy as me, and then you'd have that on your, I have to switch hats here. Okay. This one is nice and wet to keep me cool a little bit. I could put the aircon on, but then you won't be able to hear me. Moose cage at, oh boy, that's a good question, Moose. Okay. They don't have sanitary laws like we have in America. All right. Where I live, there's a place across the street from the market. I forget the man's name, but they slaughter pigs in about 5 places within a kilometer of the market. Now, that meat is fresh, okay? But if they don't sell it during the day, it's they don't have refrigerators like we're used to. Like there'll be a box about 18 inches high and 36 by 36, and it'll have a glass cage on it. And that underneath the bottom of the box is refrigeration. But they leave a lot of the meat out on the table, and it gets a lot of flies in the wet markets here. So at the end of the day, they don't put all the meat out. They just put 1 or 2 pieces out at a time. But the box never really truly freezes because all the meat's in the box. And once the bottom of the box freezes, it acts like an insulation to keep the meat at the top of the box, the top of the glass box, from freezing. So theoretically, if a pig was slaughtered on Friday, which they usually slaughter a pig Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, and then everybody in the market gets fresh pig. So the meat slaughtered on Friday, the meat that they had on Thursday, they try to sell. They won't give you a discount for yesterday's meat. So you could buy meat that's fresh out of the same boxes, or meat that's 3 days old and pretty much ready to putrefy in your refrigerator on the 4th day. They'll all tell you it's fresh meat. And you know what? The truth is it was fresh when they got it, but it's not the truth that it's still fresh. So the answer is no, they don't have like a blast freezer. They just have like a refrigerated box, which is not so powerful. And no, it doesn't get frozen at night. It stays cool, but got to remember all day it was out in the sun. So you got to be careful where you buy meat here. And the market here is a lot better for meat than the market in Tagbilaran, which is by the ICM Mall. Twice I bought meat there, and twice I left it in the refrigerator overnight because we didn't cook it the night we got home from the city. And the next day, the meat was ready to go off. Could fry it up, and you could make it like fried pork, but I would not have eaten it like barbecued pork where it was still a little red in the middle. No, I just fried it up like French fries and went back the next day and complained. And the man said, "No, sir, that meat was fresh." And I gave him a little bit of New York to deal with. And I did it loud, and I did it publicly. And I stood there for about 15 minutes and told people, "Don't buy meat from this guy." And then at that point, Filipinos won't listen to me. And then there are no Americans in the market. I'm the only American in the market. Filipinos will just buy from the guy anyway because they buy from him every week. They're programmed to do the same thing over and over and over. So if they buy from Joe Blow in the market, they buy from Joe Blow every week in the market. And if his food isn't fresh, they just live with it. Welcome to the Philippines. That's the truth. Yeah, Johnny Jackhammer. They might put ice on top of it. You know, that would be something we would do, but ice costs more money, and it's not expensive. You got a block of ice. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. See this bottle here? You get a block of ice like this for about 5 pesos, but it's not really cold ice. It's not 20 degree below zero temperature ice. It might be 15 or 25 degree temperature ice, which melts almost instantly. It's not like you got it from a blast freezer that's 40 degrees below zero and or 25 degrees below zero. So they don't. I've never seen ice on top of the meat at the end of the day or in the morning when I go there. There's no ice, so I don't buy meat from them anyway. If I want meat, I just go straight to the guy that's going to slaughter it. I know his time schedule. Or I buy meat in the BQ Mall, which I've never bought a piece of meat. There is meat there too that's not fresh. But the girls like me and they go straight to the box that's not in the display case and give me the freshest meat, the stuff that was butchered this morning. Why they like me? They see my videos. I bought them some treats, and maybe I spent 75 pesos for a bag of chocolate. Another time I bought a box of cookies for 140 pesos. And that was only twice in like a year ago. They remember me and they give me the top choice meat in the BQ Mall. So yeah, buying meat here in the Philippines is tricky. I got to tell you. And the flies that are on the meat and the fish in the fish market, knowing what a fly does when he lands within 10 seconds, leaving eggs and fecal matter, I got problems with the meat that I buy here. That's why I eat less than in pork. If I average 1 ounce of pork a week, that's a lot. I haven't had any pork in 3 weeks now. Um, Fried chicken, fried chicken, if it's cooked properly, you can't go wrong with that. Not so much flies on the fried chicken. They keep that pretty, food here in the Philippines, you got to be careful what you're buying here, raw meat. You really got to know where you're buying it. Daisy? Not yet. Yeah, she must be. Daisy has a lot of friends here. Okay, and she's been gone for a month, so maybe one of her friends took a walk down the beach. They're building a hotel down the beach. If she took her camera, she might even be making videos. Okay, so after a year of paying for Visa, how much does it cost to stay after 1 year? Your Visa fee is $60 every 2 months. Plus, there's a 3,000, just roughly 3,000 peso fee each year for an ACR card. After 1 year, it's still $60 a month and an additional $60 for the card up until 3 years. At the 3 year mark, you need to leave the country for, I'm not sure if it's 24 or 48 hours because I went to New York for a month, but you need to get a ticket. You can go to China, you can go to Vietnam for 3 days, you can go to Thailand for a couple of days, you can go to China for a few days, you can go to Malaysia for a few days. You can go to India for a few days. You're real close here. You can go anywhere prior to the 3 years. You have to leave before 3 years. Otherwise, you break your agreement not to you overstay your allowable stay in the Philippines is 3 years from the day you arrive. Now, if you leave 2 weeks before the 3 years is up and you stay someplace for 2 or 3 days and you come back, you have an additional 3 years you can stay here and pay your visa fees. Okay, a bottle of rum. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. It's $60 a month. At the end of the day, it costs you $60 a month plus transportation to get there, and it's a one time a year $60 fee. All right, Moose, I'll show you a bottle of rum. This is a bottle of what they call Tanduay rum dark. Okay, it is 1 liter. 1 liter, and it's 80 proof. This costs 103 pesos, which is $2.10. So for 1 liter of rum. Now, some people say don't drink it because it has ethanol or methanol in it. Well, I only drink 2 ounces a day. And actually, I only heard that 3 days ago. So I'm probably going to switch over to go for my sleep drink. I'll probably switch over to either tequila or vodka. I'll see which one is cheaper because I don't drink it for enjoyment purposes. I just drink it to go to sleep at night if I'm not tired. You're welcome, Brandon. They also have other size bottles. You could buy, I think it's 780 milliliters, but that's in now that the price I gave you for the bottle is in the BQ Mall. Pretty much, I think in the ICM it might be the same. It could be probably could be 2 or 3 pesos more, but that's figure 105 pesos for the bottle. However, that's at the mall. If you buy it at a street vendor, like near Alona Beach, that bottle's about 100 and not so much more, but it's 50% more. Whatever size bottle that you're going to buy is usually 50% tax because the store has to buy it, transport it to their resale location, sari store, whatever. But also, you would think that a sari store would get a discount on buying bulk of rum or food or anything like that. It's 1/10 of 1% discount if you have a card for the BQ Mall. I spent 40, 40, 39,000 or 40, close to 40,000 pesos, which is $800 last year in the store. You don't get points you don't get points for alcohol or cigarettes. So I spent 40,000 pesos on food in BQ. I spent some in ICM also, and I received back for a discount 173 or 174 pesos, which is $6. So I spent $800 and I got $6 back on my discount card, and that's the same for a Filipino, American, anybody. That's the only discount they give you. It comes out to a 0.1%, and that's it. So you don't save any money. Okay, does anybody else have any questions pertaining to prices in the Philippines? There's 32 people watching. Somebody must have a question. Come on, guys, I'm not done talking yet. It just started. This is 2 hours and 22 minutes. This is an easy one for me today. Well, no more questions. All righty. Trying to think of anything else. I could give you the prices. Well, the prices for the medicines that I had to take for my foot. Moose Cage says he asked another channel earlier, I guess you meant, about eggs and why they don't refrigerate them. I buy, okay, I got to tell you, that's a legitimate statement that you made. Daisy and I buy 3 trays of eggs at a time. We make 15 hard-boiled eggs because that's what fits at the rice cooker bottom in about a ½ inch of water. We make those right away. And when I say hard-boiled, I mean soft-boiled. It's a 2-minute, 2.5-minute boil, and then I take them out of the pot. Anything that I like them nice and I like them like Jello inside. So I have never seen a refrigerated egg ever outside the mall. In the mall, they put them on refrigerated shelves, and that are in the refrigerator. They store them in the refrigerator. Okay, so now I'm here 4.5 years, and I've been buying unrefrigerated eggs because the eggs in the mall are 8 pesos, and the eggs on the street are 6 pesos. 30 eggs is 165 pesos, so 5.5 pesos for large eggs, 8 pesos in the mall, which is 40% more. I've been eating eggs that have been unrefrigerated for 4.5 years, and I eat 2 or 3 eggs a day, and I've never once, I've never one time ever gotten a bad egg. And I'm talking about, you know, when you crack them open. I worked in a restaurant for years. As a kid, used to crack open an egg every once in a while. It'd be rotten. You know what a rotten egg is. Well, if you make the mistake of putting it in with the rest of the eggs, it might ruin it. If you have one rotten egg and 10 eggs, you might as well just throw it out. If somehow it got a little bit mixed in. Well, I've never had a bad egg. Never broken an egg where it was rotten. Probably break 2 tomorrow, but I've never broken. So unrefrigerated eggs in the Philippines, I've bought eggs that were. I asked the man how many days were these eggs here, and they would say 2 days. Pretty honest about it, because I told them if they're not fresh, I'm bringing them back, and which would mean nothing to them, but it would mean they'd lose me as a customer, and I buy 3 trays at a time. So that's 3 times 65 is 495 pesos I pay at a time. No one buys three. No 2 people buy 3 trays at a time. We only buy them once every few years. But I never got a bad egg. That's the answer to your question. They don't refrigerate them except in the malls. I've never got a bad egg. Ever. Not once. Ever. Never got a bad egg. Never got a bad egg at a restaurant. Never ate a bad egg in a restaurant. Never smelled a bad egg in a restaurant. I don't know. I guess you could say they're a bunch of good eggs. No pun intended. Michael Skinner. I'll get you the bag so you can see the bag, and I'll show you what I put in the water. And not only does it make it taste great, but it kills the germs. This is the product. Star anise. Tastes like licorice. Well, we have a vegetable called fenouil. Fennel. It's like fennel or fenouil. Fenouil is something that we used to eat around Thanksgiving. And you just put it in the water. You take it. I have a 2.5 gallon jug. I put 5 of these little. Well, that's not the whole star. I'll show you the whole star, what it looks like. I put 5 of these, which is about a little bit bigger than your thumbnail. 5 of these in 2.5 gallons. And I know where Daisy is. There's about 100 Filipinos next door having a party from a dive center. That's where she must be. I told her to go over there and see if she could meet some people yesterday, and now they have the band playing back again. That's where she must be over next door. Okay, so I put 5 of those in 2.5 gallons, and in 2 weeks the flavor starts to wear off, but no germs form in that bottle, and no germs form in the bottle, the glass bottle that you put them in. If you could drink out of this for 3 days and leave it in the sun and have this much water, you're going to expect that this is going to have germs in it from your saliva, and it's not. I don't know why. I would not have thought that. But from doing this now for almost 6 months, there are no germs in this bottle. In this bottle, I don't clean it out. I don't rinse it. I just keep adding water to it. There's no germs around the top of the bottle. Like if you smell the cap, there's no germs around the cap where you put your mouth. Kills the germs. The whole product, the whole bag costs 10 pesos, which is 20 cents and it'll make 25 gallons of water. Everybody thinks I'm kidding. I have a bottle in the machine. At the 10-day mark, I said, this can't be any good. It's been in the sun for 10 days. I drank it. At the 20-day mark, I drank it. Now it's 35 days, and it's still in there, but I have not drank it. I can't say that it's still good, but probably it's still good. And you can just put a piece in your mouth like that, and it tastes like licorice, like a candy. You could chew it if you want, but it'll last 2 or 3 hours in your mouth as a flavor enhancer to your mouth. All right, Michael, I'm glad that answered your question. Brandon, can you get regular prescription drugs and over-the-counter medical supplies at a pharmacy? Any drugs that are in America, you could get here in the Philippines. I mean, the medicine they gave me for pain was a standard codeine pill that you would get from a pharmacy in America. The difference is that the pill, the codeine, those pink codeine pills that they gave me the prescription for were 25 cents a piece. I don't know what they would cost in America. I remember buying some in America when I had a tooth removed, but this is going back to 2009, 2010. I don't know how many I got. They lasted me like 5 years because I would only take it like an eighth of a pill just to, if I had, when I had the tooth removed, I took such a small amount because I was operating equipment. But here in the Philippines, those pink codeine laced pills are that the 25 pesos a piece, which is 50 cents a pill. And if you go to the doctor or the dentist, they'll prescribe them for you, no problem. If you tell the dentist you don't want pain, they'll give you a script for 8 or 10 pills, which is for root canal. For root canal, I have those pills. I have from 3 years ago. I still had one left before I had my foot injury. So now I have a prescription for 12. It cost me 250 pesos for 12 pills, or 220. They were 23 pesos a piece, so 12 times 2 is 240. And 12 times 3 is 36. 276 pesos for 12 pills. Strong herd. Yeah, the Ring of Fire is happening in Athens. I have not looked that up. I have not looked up any conspiracy theory videos. I have not looked up. I keep seeing the Ring of Fire. I didn't even. Let me see what you're saying this is about. The Reign of Fire happening in Athens, Greece. I don't know what the Reign of Fire is. Is it a volcanic eruption? I see it all the time. You might think because I'm not working and my foot is, I'm laid up because of my foot, I have all this time. I'm trying to do other stuff besides the computer stuff, which I'm going to end this live stream in a few minutes. So, and Strongherd answers the question. Yeah, you need the prescription. Oh yeah, you need to have. Oh, maybe I missed part of the question. If you think you're going to go to the counter, okay, you can get painkillers from the dentist, but to get amphetamines for a diet, no. If that's what maybe you're asking about amphetamines from a prescription from a doctor. Amphetamines are basically, I once asked a doctor when I first got here, I weighed 268 pounds when I left. I came here at 2:30, and there was a free breakfast buffet every morning at the hotel I stayed in. I gained 38 pounds in 2 months. Now, I'm not a drug abuser. So if you gave me a prescription for 20 diet pills, which a doctor did in America, I didn't take the whole pill. I took like a tenth of the pill. Then it gives you you won't be flying around for 48 hours. One of those pills will keep you awake for a long time, but it takes the edge off of you wanting to eat. So, and it gives you energy to exercise. So I would take a tenth of a pill at 6 o'clock in the morning. So those 20 pills didn't last me 10 days. They would have lasted 200 days, but by the 60th day, I lost the weight I wanted to lose. I went back down. I lost 35 pounds. But here, if you ask the doctor for a prescription for amphetamines, methamphetamine, they will tell you no. You're not getting that over the counter. Not so easy. I don't know what that would be prescribed for, but if you just think you're going to go to a doctor and get methamphetamines for a diet, no, that probably ain't going to happen. But pain pills, if you go to the dentist and you have root canal, they give you the script, no problem. All right. Did Gary Bo know yet? Wow, you're still here, Gary. Thanks for stopping by. All right, then have a nice day, Gary. I'll give you a call maybe during the week. I have a project that I have to work on when this thing is over. All right, then, gentlemen, ladies, thank you for the time it took for you to watch this video. Thank you for your questions. People whose questions I didn't answer were something that you could Google, but you really can't Google how much airline tickets cost. And I can't give you a price of airline tickets. I can only tell you how to save some. Wes Sleeman, I'm ending the live stream. Michael Skinner, thank you, and have a great day. Back at you. Thank you very much. So I want to remind you to please, if you're interested in more personal information, just go over to my Patreon account, which I'll post down here again, and view what's available. In part, you can look at all the videos that are there. You won't be able to see them. All right, Michael Skinner says, great day. Rabbi Bonoya says, great day. Take care, Mike, from RG. Thank you. Danny Gordon, take care, Mike. Sorry I missed the show. You were a main part of the show, Danny. All the information that you gave me, I passed it along as information from Danny Gordon in this video, especially the information about booking the trip in legs, individual legs, including the information that you gave me about upgrading to the first class in Philippines airline, because Gary Bonoya said that if you book it in legs, you have to carry your own luggage. And then I remembered the other information that you gave me, saying if you upgrade to first class, you don't have to pay it. Yeah, I mean, a porter will get your bags, or the bags will be transferred automatically. So Danny Gordon was the person that helped me. Danny Gordon was the person who I referred to and said his name, and that he booked in legs, and he just looked again last night, and it was cheaper booking in legs. So if you guys want to, so for a ticket to the Philippines, Danny Gordon is saying that I'm talking these words. So somebody said they were working while they were listening to the live stream, so they can't see the chat window. Danny Gordon says it's $200 to $300 cheaper booking in legs. So right there, if your ticket is $1,200 and it's $300 less, you're saving 20% from Dallas to Manila. All right. Thanks for that information. You have been highly, highly, highly praised for the information you gave me. Thank you. All right, everybody, I'm going to say goodbye. You know how I don't like to be long-winded or anything like that. From Dallas, yeah? Okay, $600 from Dallas. My ticket from New York was 1,000. Good night, Danny. Good night, Gary. Good night, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. I'll think of a new topic. Maybe one day Daisy and I will sing the Manila Ladybug Hunter song as a duet. Daisy and I had a blast doing that on another video. I'll put the link for the other video and the timestamp for the other video that Daisy and I did sing the Manila Ladybug Hunter song, and it's at the 3 hour and 12 minute and 25 second point in how to find a good Filipino. Well, I'll give you the name of the video. Hold on, I'll even put it in the live chat because I know you want it. Videos, I got. Just give me a minute. I'll give you the Manila Ladybug Hunter song link to the video. It's in How to Meet a Filipina Girlfriend on the Internet. And I'm going to give you the information right here in the description box. This is something that you might want to do as soon as you hang up here. You might want to go check this out. Now, the name of the video, I'm going to post right now also. It all wouldn't fit in one page. Now, I'll give you the link on the bottom of it again because no, that's the name of the video. Didn't give me a link here. Here's the link. When you first load this stuff, good night, Brandon. Okay, that's the link to the video. Above the link is the name of the video. And above that, the name of the video is the timestamp that you want to watch the video to see me and Daisy do the Manila Ladybug Hunter song. Okay, everybody. Umping Permy from Michael Fazio and Daisy May in the Philippines, baby. Have to look presentable, you know? You know me.